Here we go. Yay, thank you for coming.
What's going
How's it
on?
going, man?
It's going
Sasquatch,
good.
that's a good name. It's
Yeah.
yeah. So Charles has a band and he's been on before. What's your band called these days?
Benevolence.
Benevolence. There we go. And you had another band before, but you moved on to Benevolence and
Yeah, Exalt the Throne. That was a band
right.
that I was in previously.
And you just got this new guitar that you were posting up. Abel, you're telling me about your cool guitar on how you made it all custom and you got your own custom pickups and all that stuff. No?
Yeah, Chris is still putting it together. He's still
Oh,
working
okay.
on.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's
Are there
done with
issues
it.
with it?
Huh?
Are you guys having issues with it or?
No, it's just it's kind of a put me together kind of thing. He had to like order a lot of the parts and had to
Uh-huh.
order the logo and all that good stuff. But I mean, he's working on it. It should hopefully be done
Cool.
within a week or so, or sometime in the middle of this month, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing it. Be kind of cool. Yeah. Charles, by the way, is really amazing on the guitar. Your fingers, you got these fingers that don't look like they should move, but they move like crazy, man. You got some mad skills on the guitar. Yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
yeah. Um, so we're going to talk about your shadow functions a little bit. So I guess we're going to start with your FI shadows to FE. Do you see yourself using FE every so often? Are you aware of tribe harmony?
FE, I would say, would be where my point of worry is, if that makes any
Worry.
sense. I have a tendency to sometimes wonder who's mad at me, or I sometimes will worry about how people feel. So I try not to offend people in certain circumstances. There's
Right.
also some circumstances where I think it's funny to offend people. It just depends.
Right.
Well, but it's usually in
What
a
about
place.
being aware of groups and like different groups and fads and new trends coming around? Are you aware of that at all? Do you care about that? Are you rejecting
Uh,
that?
like fads, what do you mean? Like the trends or what's popular?
Yeah.
I think that,
Yeah, what's coming up, what's like people were talking about TikTok FE users, for example, saying it's going to be popular and stuff. Like, are you aware of that kind of stuff, trending stuff?
I see
Or
stuff
you just
online, but I don't really pay much attention to it. I'm aware of what trends like in the music world, though. Like I'm aware of what's more popular music wise because that's the business I'm in. You kind of have to know that. But
Mhm.
I don't get on a lot of bandwagons like people do on Facebook. But I often wonder if that's more SE than FE. Maybe it's both. Like SE's
Yeah,
aware
I think
that's
FE is
popular.
aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't really get on bandwagons if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the question, but that's a good answer anyways. It's good to know about that. What about like, what about, because I guess like your FI is just your own priorities, your own values, what you like, what you want, right? And so FE is more about what other people like, what other people want, defaulting to that. Do you do that sometimes?
I don't know. It depends on the circumstance. I'm capable of, if I have to, I guess I'm capable of, hearing other people's feelings in certain circumstances. Um, like the theory I come from, and I do agree with it, is the FE is nemesis for me. It's definitely the nemesis. It's a point of contention, like where I don't know how to explain it, but like I'll literally will worry, oh crap, did I offend this person? How are they feeling about me? Are they mad at me now? I'll be in situations where I just want to, make sure that I haven't accidentally made somebody upset or whatever. That's kind of how I see FE for me. Um, I'm not the most FE conscious. I have to literally make myself think about it. Of course, I'm usually not trying to hurt
Mm.
anybody, but I don't know
Are
how to.
you aware of other people's values? Are you aware of other people's priorities? What's important for people?
I mean, I am to a degree if they talk about it, though. As long as they make it known. You know, as long as they tell me like what they value or whatever, or if I hear them talk about it, I'll be aware.
Um, does it interest you to get to know other people's interests, what their what their goals are, what their ambitions are, what's important to them?
Well, in general, I have struggled to know what people are interested in, but if I have a friend that is like seeming like they're going nowhere in life, I will blatantly ask them, "Well, what are your goals? What do you want to do?" Like if I know somebody that's just completely aimless or they're depressed because they can't figure out their life path, I will flat out ask them, "Well, what do you want to do with your life? Then why aren't you doing that?" I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell stuff like that. But I have struggled over the years to show that I'm interested in people's interest. And I remember even making a Facebook post saying that this is depressing me that I seem so cold because I actually do care about people's interests, but I don't know how to show it really.
Right. What if like two people are getting into some kind of I don't know, some kind of face off where each one wants something different? And are you aware of both people's wants? Would you try to sort of, would you be able to know how to give each person what they want, or figure out, a good resolution to the thing? Has this happened? Do you have an example?
Are you talking about a situation where I have to be a mediator and two people are trying to?
Yeah, so not even just a mediator, but sort of try to come up with a conclusion that would keep everybody happy, sort of thing. Is that something that you?
Um, I think I've done that before, but it doesn't happen a lot. But I try to be in win-win situations where
Right.
we all benefit. I guess that's just because I'm quote unquote interest based. I guess. I don't know how often I've done that, but I've been in situations where I'm like, well, if we do it this way and we do it that way, you get what you want, I get what we want, and everybody wins. Sometimes that works great, and other times people are very unyielding. It just really depends on the circumstance and what's really going on. But
Mhm.
I don't want anybody to feel left out or whatnot. But it just really depends on the situation.
What about the vibe of the room, how people are getting along? Um, do you invest energy in that sometimes to see see the simple fabric that's around you?
It really depends because I have to really be paying attention to it. It could like I said, I'm not very FE conscious, but I can still pick up vibes, but not the same way an FE person would. I think maybe like in the SE realm, NI realm,
Mhm.
kind of. But I don't know, man. Like I think a good example is everybody's freaking out on the internet about the coronavirus thing, but it's not freaking me out at all. Maybe it's because I just lack FE and I'm just not tapping into it. But I'm aware that people are freaking out about the situation, but I'm not
Yeah.
freaking out. But if I'm in an area where everybody's screaming and yelling at each other, I'll probably just leave because no, I won't like that kind of thing. Or I'll tell everybody to shut the hell up, depending on my mood. But I don't really tap into things in an FE kind of way. I mean, I can be sympathetic and kind of mirror what they're feeling, but it's not the same thing by any stretch.
Okay. If you were to do that, does it feel like you're going outside of yourself? Does it feel like you're using your feelings wrong? I guess if you could say that, or in an impure way, or
I don't know about that. I don't know how to answer that because it's just a situation I don't encounter a whole lot. I really don't know. I'm
right.
not sure. It's uh, I think FE for me really manifests as just me trying. Like many years ago, I liked a girl, so I tried to be more on her level, and that pretty much killed me. I have to just be myself, because I was just constantly
What
worried
what
about.
about what about seeing how your own feelings fit into the spectrum of feelings around you? Are you aware of feelings are compared to other people's? Um, do you pay attention to the spectrum of feelings around you?
Not 100%, unless there's a lot of tension. If people were like angry at each other, then I might be like, well, I'm just going to chill and do nothing and let them sort out their crap, or I'm going to hide from the situation so I don't have to
Mhm.
be dragged into this conflict. But
What
I don't
about
know.
what about investing emotional energy in other people? Asking them how they feel, talking about feelings in public, things like that. Is that something that's hard for you? It's weird for you? Will you do it?
It would take effort for me to really get somebody to talk about their feelings. I mean, granted, people vent to me anyways all the time. People like
Right.
doing that, but it's like I'm not consciously going to. I don't know how to explain it, but I've not been in situations where I'm like, "Tell me all your feelings today." I don't quite
Right.
do that exactly. I mean, I care about how
Uh-huh.
people feel, and I'm more likely to say, "Well, why do you feel that way?" If somebody's feeling a bad way, I'm more likely to ask them, "Well, where does this coming from?" But it's not exactly the same thing. I'm not an
No, it's not
ENFJ,
yet.
and I'm not an ESFJ, so I just
What
don't know how
about
to operate.
what about when people ask you about your feelings? Are you comfortable sharing it? Um, does it feel weird and personal? Like why do you want to know feelings? I don't want to talk about them or
It really depends on who I'm talking to, I
right.
guess, and how close I am to them. Like, I'm not going to tell everybody my feelings, but I do have a tendency, if I'm frustrated, I just kind of rant a little bit. But I'm not going to tell everybody my feelings. It just depends. I'm very private about my actual opinions on a lot of stuff because I don't want people judging me
Yeah.
for my opinions. I usually just kind of stay
Hmm.
quiet most of the time, especially on social media. If I see a lot of stuff going on, I usually don't sprout my opinion unless I know my opinion's not going to get attacked.
Your opinion getting attacked. That's your T there.
Yeah.
Um, or not even. Um, so okay, maybe if you're with like you have a close personal friend, you feel comfortable sharing your feelings with them like over time. It takes time to do that. And so, but I guess like in a public setting, it would be sort of awkward for you to share your feelings with everybody. It's not something you feel comfortable doing. Does it feel wrong?
I don't know if it feels wrong. I just don't do that kind of thing. It's more private. I'm not going to tell the whole group how I feel about something unless it's a group that I'm really, really close to. Um,
Yeah.
like a band setting, maybe, but I really don't sprout my feelings out a whole lot. No.
Why you wouldn't do that? Sorry, we're breaking up a bit.
I don't. I wouldn't do that with a big group setting unless I literally felt close to every single member, like a band setting. But at the same time, no, I keep a lot of my feelings very private, and I only tell certain people that I know about how I feel about certain situations.
Yeah. I'm trying to click here. Um, Sheila says a trust level is huge. Okay, so that's your FE. Do you have anything else maybe that you've noticed? How do you get along with FE users? How does FE come off to you when someone's using it?
I like FE actually from the actual FE users because they are willing to invest. I don't know a lot of FE users, unfortunately, other than some of the
Right.
ESTPs I know. They have like FE Child, which is very innocent with their FE. They're very caring in a very childlike way. But I don't know a lot
Uh,
of like FE DOMs or anything like that. You disappeared. Where'd you go? I don't know a lot of ENFJs or ESFJs, not that I'm aware of. I I mean, I'm sure I've crossed paths, and I think one of my friends is an ISFJ, and she's very, very, very caring. but I don't know a lot of heavy FE users for some reason, or if I do, I'm just not aware of it. And you disappeared.
Okay, I put a hotspot on.
I was
I
like,
don't know
where?
if we. Yeah. Okay, so we got some questions here. Do you see FE as coming off as fake?
Yes and no, but at the end of the day, I don't actually think it's fake. I think it's just that's how they process the emotions and the emotions around them. Now, granted, I would rather an FE user be really blunt with me and not fake, I guess. Like, I don't like when people pretend to be my friend one day and then all of a sudden they're acting totally not cool. I'd rather them just
Yeah, I'm not sure
pick
anyone would
fun.
like that. Yeah.
I've dealt with that with some SJs before where they pretend to be your friend and the next day they're trying to kill you. Well, just pick one already.
Mhm.
I don't care which one it is, just pick one and be
Um,
consistent.
do you ever invest emotional energy in people? Does it have to be a close person? Can you do it to a large group of people?
It's usually just to somebody I'm close to. I don't really invest a lot of energy towards groups of people, but like a friend of mine, if I'm close with them, obviously I invest in them because I want to help them or see them develop in some kind of way. I'll put a lot
Right.
of emotional energy into that, something like that. But not usually a group. No, I don't
Yeah.
invest.
Or not even just a group, just many individuals. Would you invest energy constantly in a lot of people, or just whoever's there, or how does that work?
But just basically invest my emotional energy in either people I'm close to, or maybe some kind of art I'm doing that might
Yeah.
involve people working with me. But I don't do it on a big scale. No.
Yeah.
I'll invest it in a close friend and trying to help them, or I'll invest it in like the band or the project we're working on, but not really on a large group scale. No, I'm not. That's not me.
Okay, cool, man. What about okay, so SE shadows to SI. Do you see yourself organizing the sensory at all?
I don't know. I don't really think of SI in terms of organizing the sensory. I just think of it as my memory sucks. And what I tend to
Right.
remember, what I do remember are more negative things. And I'm very critical towards either my own past experiences or I remember the bad things people have done to me over the years.
Yeah, I can
Or,
see the lens you're looking through. You're calling it the critic.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
I think that's your critic function too. So you might relate to not really remembering things well, or you just remember like people pissing you off in the past more than the actual good parts of the past. But I don't know if I
Mhm.
would say I organize the sensory. I'm not the most organized person, but I don't know if organizing is really related to the introverted perception. I think it's more related to judging functions, but I really don't know. I have no answer
Yeah,
on
well,
that.
I'm just wondering if you can answer just how you organize stuff, how you organize the physical world. Um,
I usually just leave everything in one spot.
yeah,
That's about it. I am not
yeah,
an organized person, but I my definition of SI might be slightly different from a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people.
yeah.
But,
What about having flashbacks or visions or things like that?
um, like random memories, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, memories, stacked memories. Do you have objects that maybe sort of have memories associated with them?
I would say so.
Keepsakes.
I do have objects, and I've actually been told that's more of an SE way of remembering stuff, is we need a
Okay.
physical object to remember. And I guess that triggers our SI, I guess. But yeah. certain guitars I have tell certain stories, and I can remember like the experiences I had with that guitar. I can remember the experiences I had in certain areas. Like if I drive around town, I'll go to a certain spot in town, and that will trigger like memories of certain years, or even people will trigger memories because they're physical objects.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you like it when that happens? Is that something you want to have happen? Do you like reminiscing about that kind of stuff, or it's
it's yes and no. I'm sort of nostalgic, but I'm also anti-nostalgic. It's kind of like hit and miss. Like I'm nostalgic, but I'm not nostalgic. I also have I've got the mentality of, well, yeah, the past was cool and all, but you usually got to move forward in life, and you can't get stuck in your past. Otherwise, you're never gonna progress.
Mhm.
You can't just live in your past, or you're pretty much emotionally stunting yourself. And I guess to answer your question, if I organize stuff, not really, other than everything stays in one spot so I won't forget where I put it. That's basically
Right. So Sheila's also an ISFP, and she says her memories usually bring up emotions. Do you resonate with that at all?
I guess sometimes I can remember what I was feeling. If I have a memory, I can remember the feeling or what I was thinking. I guess that's a thing, yeah. But
Mhm.
I guess that would make sense. But it's hard to explain. Like I said, SI for me is a very interesting function. Uh, I tend to hold grudges, and I'm not proud of that. But I'll, if somebody does something bad to me, even though I do try to forgive as a Christian, because they did that bad thing, my mind naturally associates them with the bad thing and the bad experience.
So
And
Bianca asks, when you hear one of your old songs, do you usually go back to that mentality or feeling you had when you created it?
yes and no. Like I'll hear an old song and I'll be like, okay, that was fun to write that, but then once again, I'll still remember some of the. It's weird. I'll remember the good spots, but I also might remember a lot of the drama that went on in that situation. I'll remember some of the, like I said, it's really weird. I tend to remember, like, my brain likes to highlight the negative things that pissed me
Right.
off, which is weird. I don't like that
Do
it
you think
does it.
do you think maybe it has to do with unresolved things, are still in your memory until they get resolved?
It could be a mixture of that. Uh,
Yeah.
but do you relate to that? Like when it comes to remembering your past, do you remember a lot of the good or
Yeah.
a lot of the bad, or do you are
I
you very
think I'm trying to think, and I think has to do also with unresolved things. Things that are unresolved sort of stick out in your memory a little more because you still have to process them,
yeah,
or fix them or something. And then I think if you've resolved them, then they just sort of fade away.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
You just gotta you gotta do it consciously. You gotta tell yourself, well, that thing's over with. Don't be mad about it anymore. Move forward. It's hard to explain, but you just gotta tell yourself to not be critical, or you gotta tell yourself, well, learn from that experience so you will do better in the future. It's something
Yeah.
we have to physically tell ourselves or mentally tell ourselves. I mean, I have good memories too. Don't get me wrong, we all do, but it's just my brain it likes to highlight some of the darker experiences for some weird reason.
Mhm.
And
Um, yeah, go ahead.
oh, me?
Um, yeah, whatever. Andy said something about emotional repression is different in men versus women. I don't know. That's going back to FI a little bit, but do you feel like you were forced because you're a man, you're not allowed to feel, or never?
Well, society doesn't like when a guy is sensitive, but we are
Right.
sensitive, or I am sensitive. But I
Yeah.
also look physically rough.
Yeah.
But on the inside, yeah, I'm very, very sensitive. Um,
Mhm.
but I guess to answer your question once again about I have a very weird relationship with it, honestly. And even though I'm quote unquote an SE user, I'm actually semi routine. I do almost the same thing every day. I,
Oh.
you know, sort of. I mean, I'm not that boring, but I'm pretty close to boring. So,
Um.
and that's
Do
why I
you,
used to. That's why I thought I was an SI user for a long
Right.
time. Turns out I'm
Um, do so this routine and stuff. Like, can you eat the same food every day? No problem.
It's not quite like that, but I'll get home about the same time every day, and I'll have just a lot of the same routines of, my
Is that
wind down
something you
routine.
do on purpose to discipline you because it's good for you?
I think it just comes unconsciously. I have the
Yeah.
same daily routine of, you know, um, I go to bed about the same time. I'll watch, videos at the same time every day. It's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
I have a very consistent daily rhythm.
What about being in touch with your body, knowing if something's a little off, little nuances, feeling like you're missing vitamin B or A or whatever vitamin you're missing, or are you in tune with your body in that way?
Unfortunately, no, not the way I'd like to be, but I think that's a
Right.
blessing in some ways because some people have to constantly be comfortable or they can't function, but I'm just so unaware of a lot of stuff like that that I can function a little better. I mean, I'm aware if my head hurts, anybody's aware of that, but like I can
Yeah.
go for hours without eating anything.
Yeah.
Not that I don't get hungry, because believe me, I get hungry, but I can go for hours without eating something if I'm focused on something or working on something. And then I'll be like, wow, I haven't eaten in 7, 8, 10, 12 hours. I need to go eat something.
Mhm. Um, okay. You touched on a little something there. I forgot what it was, but we'll move on. What about any brainstorming, seeing possibilities, seeing the connections between things?
That is literally a function that I don't understand. Uh, I think NE is cool, but I just don't understand it. And it's hard for me to see possibilities. I usually need somebody to point them out for me, especially when I'm trying to figure out a situation. I need somebody to show me possibilities because I'm not the greatest at seeing possibilities. I mean, I'm aware that things will happen, but I'm not very good at NE, and I don't really understand NE, so I don't know how to
Like
answer that question.
anticipating what's going to happen, things like that.
I can kind of do that in an NI way when it comes to like something that I think might happen on a path I'm on,
Right. Like making
but
something happen. Yeah.
but understanding extroverted intuition, I really don't understand it, other than the sense that
Sorry.
I've been told. I mean, I've experienced it too, but I've read and I've been told that ISPs are very good at getting screwed over by people because we don't know their intentions, which I've experienced that in my life,
Yeah.
where I'm like hanging out with a girl and I'll be like, oh, she's great for me, she's awesome, and everybody's like, no, she's full of crap. We see her intention. She does not
Yeah.
have
We're
you.
not paying attention to the intentions. We're not looking at that. Yeah.
No, we just think, oh, this chick likes me. She must be cool.
Yeah.
And then I get screwed over, and everybody who who I know who's actually got NE high in their stack will be like, "Well, we told you she was going to screw you over. You weren't listening."
Right.
So
Yeah.
I guess that's my answer because I really don't understand extroverted intuition. I like that function, but I don't understand it. And
Does
even when I
does it
see,
seem like does it seem like when they're using it, extroverted intuition, like it's not real? Like they're just talking about stuff that isn't actually reality? Is that the kind of
I don't know because I just don't know how to
right?
pinpoint the function. I'm so blind to it. But I guess when I see people freaking out over possibilities or freaking out about all the bad things that are going on right now, my
Yeah.
thoughts are, why are you freaking out? Just chill and be alert. Don't make a big deal out of, like the virus that's going on. Everybody's, uh, I, I,
You're talking
s-
about the virus. Here I am.
I know. Keep yourself,
I think it's just
man.
allergies.
Yeah, you're probably fine. I think you're fine. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Don't ask me. But the point is, I think it's the heavy end users that are freaking out about everything that's going on. I'm not sure though, but in my
Yeah.
perspective, my thoughts are just be alert and take care of yourself and don't get scared because that's not going to do any good. I'm rambling and I don't understand extrovert intuition. I
Yeah,
wish I
yeah, no,
did.
that's cool. I didn't. I need to do more follow up questions. What about seeing the uncertainties and things? Do you pay attention to what might happen, what could happen, all of the bad things that could happen around you, all of the good things that could possibly happen?
Maybe not on a large scale,
Right.
on a very tiny scale.
Would you ever make a decision to just because you want to keep an option open?
Yes and no. I usually like to think things through before I make decisions.
Yeah.
I try to play out the scenario in my head of what I want to happen and the path I see happening before I actually do it. I try to get all
Yeah,
the
that's an
I's
I.
the I's dotted and the T's crossed, but I really don't understand any. I wish I did, man.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah. Um okay. What about learning new concepts, new patterns, things like that?
I only like doing that when it comes to personality theory because I
Right.
like personality theory, but when it comes to anything else, I'm just like, eh.
Uh-huh.
When it comes to just being theoretical, for the sake of being theoretical, it doesn't really interest me much. But if I see it in something like this where you can actually see it and touch it and taste it, I think it's cool
Mhm.
because it's just stuff we observe every day. But in general, I'm just not really that into concepts a whole lot. I mean, there one time I was into a concept from a show I watched, and I was wondering like, what if we all, lived for like hundreds of years? Would we have more knowledge and know things better, and would we be able to predict people's behaviors because of longevity? But other than that, I really don't think
Yeah.
that.
What about seeing the potential in things? What could be? What what could happen?
Um, I mean, I can kind of do that if I understand the situation really well and just really observe what's going on. But at the same time, a lot of things still throw me for a loop. Like I didn't know that, that this virus was going to be a big deal. I didn't know my job was going to be closed for 2 weeks. I never knew that was coming. And, you know, all of a sudden I get a notification that we're shut down for a couple of weeks. I mean, I never knew that this pandemic thing was going to be such a big deal. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
not
Um,
not that I can't figure things out, but I just if I'm not paying attention to it, I won't pick up on it. Does that make any
okay,
sense?
so yeah, yeah, it makes perfect sense. We have a question here from Sheila. What about new ideas about learning new concepts for playing guitar or like tried and true?
I don't know. I mean, to me, guitar doesn't feel like a concept. It feels like a very straightforward thing. I mean, there's theory involved, like scales and stuff, but like, I just don't really learn a lot of new concepts. I don't really care about a lot of new concepts.
Yeah,
I might focus on the one idea and expand upon it, but other than that, I don't get crazy about ideas
cool,
for the
man.
sake of ideas.
Okay, yeah. So that lines up a little bit with socionics, I guess, the seventh polar any as well.
Yeah, do you relate to any of that as well? Because I
A little bit, a little bit. I think I think I use it a bit more than you, but I could just be delusional as well. I think you might just be more honest than me. Um,
or you're trying to optimistically use your trickster function, but it's
yeah,
I mean, you can overcome that. You just gotta put a lot of mental energy into it.
yeah. Okay, so what about TI then? I guess are you are you interested in what's true? Are you looking for falsehood? Are you trying to reject things that are that just contradict other things?
Sometimes it's 50-50 because I'm actually aware of that kind of thing, sort of. There's times I used to think I was a TI user, except I know for a fact I'm not.
Right.
But I do like things to be true or verified. I don't like people just to sprout bull crap and all of a sudden, that's the truth because I saw an article on it. Well, how do you know the article is actually telling you the truth?
Right.
Like I I don't know. I'm not one of those people that just believes anything for the sake of believing it. Like I know somebody who's TI polar who flat out drove me around the city one day and he tried to tell me that the airplanes were making chemtrails that were to kill us. And he was also trying to tell me that the towers that produce electricity
Right.
uh, were causing cancer and are part of population control. And he was
Yeah.
an ENFP, of course. And I'm
Yeah, it
thinking,
sounds like an ENFP. It sounds like it sounds like it's going against your SE more than against your TI as well.
well, yeah, it
Like
might be going
real.
against both. Yeah, because
Yeah.
SE's about the reality, but
Yeah.
polar people are known for believing anything you tell them. That's what I've seen, anyways. They will believe anything you tell them without actually checking their
Well,
sources to make sure that it's
I,
right.
I think you're not giving them enough credit, but yeah, some of them at least for sure will go down that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little too harsh. Sorry about that. It's just what I've
Yeah, that's
seen.
the FE. um,
Yeah.
okay, what about something that you know from your past contradicts with something new that's coming in? Do you accept the new thing even though the new thing looks real? Do you how do you resolve that contradiction?
I'm really not sure, honestly.
Yeah,
I could be faulty memory because our memories are very subjective.
yeah,
Uh, I don't know
right,
how to explain that really, because like I don't know, because I'm a Christian and I believe in God, but you can't really prove or disprove him.
right,
And a lot of Christians don't believe in evolution, but my thoughts are, well, if you can actually prove evolution, my thoughts are, what if God allowed that on purpose? That's where I
yeah,
stand on that.
right.
I don't know
Um,
though.
but what about like what about coming up with your own opinion on things? How does that work?
That mainly comes from life experience, observation, and just how I might feel about something. It comes from a lot of things. Like my own opinion is just based on what I've had a subjective experience with, and that will either lead my opinion.
You let's say you don't have an opinion on something. How would you go about figuring one out?
I would either say I'm open to discussion or I have no opinion on this, or I would say I need more information to form an actual opinion before I actually claim that something's true or false. I would
Uh-huh.
need to actually observe it. It just depends on what it is,
Um,
or maybe seek out lots of sources. I really don't know how to answer that. Really,
yeah.
I just
Um,
don't know.
what a, so that person going around talking about the chemtrails and stuff like that. At the end of the day, does it matter that they're saying bad information? Um, is it that it's not real it's not realistic, it doesn't conform with reality? That's more the issue.
I think to me it's more of why are you so gullible? Where are you
Uh-huh.
getting this from? And why are you freaking out about everything? That's basically where my mind goes.
Because it's interesting because I've got a friend that does the same thing and I'll actually argue with him. Like I'll be like, well, and I'll go into the logic of it and try to prove him wrong on the logic. And I'm just wondering, like, would you do the same thing, or you're just like, that's not real, it doesn't make any sense, or
I'm more like it's not real. I don't like to argue
yeah,
with people. If I was
right,
TI, yeah, I probably would. But I just have the all right, dude. You've been watching too much Alex Jones, bro. Because
right.
and that's where he gets it from. And I don't know. I don't know what else to think about that other than like people tell me stuff that I know is total bullcrap. I'm just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Sheila agrees with you. Where's the proof?
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am capable of arguing, but I don't really like to argue.
Yeah.
Now, I will admit, I was watching a video about flat Earth, and I really just could not stand the stupidity in that video. So I was like, okay, if the Earth is flat, tell me how it spins. Tell me how night and day happens. Tell me, all these things. How does this work in your model? And I said that, and then I left. Um, that's basically what I said, and I basically decided, okay, I'm probably going to get some hate comments, and I'm not going to respond. But I just wanted to throw that question out there. But
Yeah.
usually I don't like to argue with people. If I had your personality type, I would probably be a little more ballsier to really call out the crap. I wish I had that, but I just get really,
You don't. Yeah.
I get nervous and I'm like, well, I'm going to put my opinion out there, but I'm going to go hide now. But
Right.
no, to answer your question, sorry I ramble. To answer your question,
No,
I don't like to argue really. But when it's just
it
something
sounds
that
like you do form opinions. You just don't want to have to defend them. You don't want to have to, get someone else to see the logic behind it.
I'm very insecure about what people might think about me is what it is. I'm scared of criticism. That's probably my greatest fear, more than death and sickness. I'm literally scared of people having a bad opinion and like hurting my reputation and making me out to be a bad person. It's
Right.
weird that is like the biggest thing I fear is the opinions of others, but that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I
Yeah,
hate
it's
to
an IP
argue.
thing. Yeah. That's an IP
Exactly.
thing. We all, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, I hate arguing with people, but when I saw that flat Earth thing, I had to just call it out because that's just, I guess it's just not, it's retarded. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but come on now.
Uh-huh. Yep. Sure. Okay. Awesome, man. Do you want to tell us a little bit about I don't know, your band and stuff before we sign off?
We're melodic death metal. We have a male and a female vocalist. They scream and growl and sing. Um, we're Benevolence, and you can find us on Facebook. We're also benevolencetube.com on the YouTube. We're also Benevolence Metal on Instagram, I think is what it is. I don't run the
All right,
Instagram.
man. Yeah, so send me all those links and I'll put them in the description too. And for sure. Thanks for coming out again. I appreciate it. Take it easy. Have a good one, man. Good to
You
see you
too, man.
again.
This was fun. We'll do this
Yeah, it
again.
was really fun. Stick around for a bit.
Stick
Bye,
around for a
everybody.
bit.